Did the New Orleans Saints find their quarterback of the future in day 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft? Let's talk about Fresno State's Jake Haener right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the Straight Up Saints podcast.
What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome back inside the Straight Up Saints podcast. And the Saints made their second trade on day 3 this time, moving up to pick 127 and taking Jake Haener of Fresno State. Now, before we get into the analysis, before we get into why I actually really like this move a ton, let's talk about this part. We had a live stream last night. We talked about 4th, 5th, 6th round picks, what you do with them. And I said, I think one of them should be used on a quarterback because usually day 3 picks, you're kind of throwing darts at the dartboard blindly. And if a quarterback hits, it's tremendous value on day 3. The upside is huge. The risk is minimal. I mean, we've already gotten over the Saints wasting a pick on Ian Book. You don't really care when it comes to day 3 picks later on in the 4th and the 5th rounds and stuff of that sort. So you get Jake Haener, and there's a lot to like about this kid. And let's get into it for starters. The toughness is there. Willingness to throw in the face of pressure. The deep post that you like to see from him. I think he does that. He checks off all the boxes. I think he's the type of quarterback, had he been taller, we'd be talking about him in better light. I think at 6'1", a smaller frame, people are concerned about that. And there is also the injury concern, right? I mean, he missed 4 games last year with the ankle. I get that. But you can't watch Fresno State the last couple of years and not see how much better they are when Jake Haener's under center. I just love his toughness. The IQ's there. Efficiency's there too. 20 touchdowns, only 3 picks last season. Senior Bowl MVP. You know the Saints like their Senior Bowl players, so that was huge for them, obviously. And this is a big bonus too for Saints fans who are like, hey, how invested do I want to get in Jake Haener? He's a Drew Brees guy. That was the quarterback he idolized growing up. That's a quarterback he's actually been compared to due to his accuracy at the collegiate level. Great timing that he throws with, great anticipation that he throws with. And this might not work out, right? In a year's time, we could look back and go, hey, the Saints wasted a pick on Jake Haener. But day 3, you take a chance on these guys. Because guess what? The 49ers last year saved their season because they took a chance on Brock Purdy. In the 7th round on day 3, took a flyer on a quarterback who had success in college, threw with anticipation, and had a lot of experience under his belt. Jake Haener has all of those 3. I don't know if this pick is going to hit. I can't promise you guys anything. But what I can promise you is if it does hit, the upside of just taking this guy day 3 would be immense. And honestly, if I'm going to give what's a fair / optimistic quarterback comparison for him, forget about the Drew Brees stuff. There's one and only one Drew Brees. But I think there's a lot of Gardner Minshew at Washington State to his game. And Gardner Minshew was an excellent college quarterback, comes to the pros, had immediate success with the Jaguars. And I know he's kind of tailed off over the last 2 seasons, but he also spent time watching Jalen Hurts. And we all know how good Jalen Hurts is. So it's tough to kind of oversee him at quarterback. So I think this is worth the risk, worth the gamble for the Saints. I hope Jake Haener works out. And let's also not forget, Jameis Winston's probably gone after this season, so maybe Jake Haener develops into their backup. And if you get a steady backup out of a 4th round pick, I would take that in a heartbeat. We all know, and we joke about it, Chase Daniels made a hell of a living over the last couple of years being a backup quarterback. So we'll see what happens. Who knows if this pick works, but I love the risk. I love just taking a chance on a quarterback on day 3. I honestly think more teams should be taking quarterbacks almost every day 3. You never know which one's going to hit. And if it does, you look like a genius. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think, though, about Jake Haener going to the Saints in the comment section below. And we'll get ready to see if the Saints make any more moves on draft day. It's been an eventful day 3. And if anything else happens, we'll have you covered here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.